Hey everyone, this is All Parks, and we're back this week to tell you about three great places to visit in West Virginia. All three are located in the Monongahela National Forest, which is about 2.5 hours northwest of Shenandoah. We had a great time hiking and getting to enjoy the outdoors. So, with that said, here are a few tips on what to do, what to see, and what to watch out for in the Monongahela National Forest. This is our first video on a national forest, and there tends to be some confusion when it comes to the difference between national parks and national forests. You won't actually find the national forest as a part of the national park system, and that has to do with restrictions on how the land is used. National parks preserve and protect the environment and often restrict different activities. National forests, on the other hand, allow multi use purposes, and those can include any kinds of recreation, hunting, or even use of resources like lumber. Since Monongahela is a massive forest, there are a ton of activities you can do, which include fishing, horseback riding, biking, skiing, and hunting as well, as long as you are in compliance with the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources. We spent time hiking during our visit, and our first stop had some of the best views. Seneca Rocks is probably considered one of West Virginia's better known recreation areas and is popular for its hiking trails and rock climbing routes. You can also enjoy catch and release fishing and learn about life in the 1800s at the site's homestead exhibit. The Seneca Rocks Discovery Center also has information for visitors and nice views of the rocks. Sadly, it was closed during our visit because of COVID. If you plan on camping, the Seneca Shadows Campground has a good view of the rocks and is near the North Fork South Branch Potomac River, as well as two caves. RV sites and tent camping are available with toilets, picnic tables, and campfire rings. The price to camp can range from $17 to $65 depending on your amenities, but be sure to make a reservation prior to your stay. We hiked the Seneca Rocks Trail, which takes you to the summit and is just over 3 miles total. Although it's steep in a few areas, the trail is not too strenuous and is fairly family friendly. There are signs along the path with information on the geological processes in the area. They're interesting and a good excuse to let you catch your breath if needed. You can also bring your dog here as long as it's on a leash, and they do have bathrooms in the parking lot. There's an observation deck at the top, which is a great spot for pictures. Beyond the observation deck is a much rockier path that leads onto the rocks themselves. Do be warned that the formation is more challenging to maneuver when compared to the trail that led up to it. There's also a warning sign that tells you how many climbers have died since the 70s, so if you decide to venture on the formation, do use caution. Although we got a bit of rain, this was a really nice hike with a worthwhile view at the end. The weather seemed to keep a lot of visitors away since we basically had the trail mostly to ourselves, which made it really nice. Spruce Knob is the highest point in West Virginia at 4,863 feet. It's about 20 miles from Seneca Rocks, and you can drive to the top to take the Whispering Spruce Trail. This is a really short, easy hike that takes you to the observation tower. As you can see, there is a great view from the top. You can look out on the North Fork Mountain and Germany Valley, or just admire the rhododendrons and spruce trees that grow by the trail. There are bathrooms and picnic tables at the top. The website mentioned there were grills there too, although I didn't actually see any. If you have some extra time in the Spruce Knob area, there are nearby campgrounds as well as Spruce Knob Lake, where you can go boating or fishing. Dolly Sods Wilderness, which is 45 miles from Spruce Knob, is on our next stop, and it's a huge area, over 17,000 acres, which is spread over 3 different counties. There are several hiking trails throughout which range in difficulty. Whichever one you do decide to take, I would recommend figuring out how to get there beforehand. GPS signal was spotty on the drive in, and it was kind of confusing when it came time to finding the trailhead. We parked on the side of a gravel road to start the Blackbird Knob Trail. It wasn't steep, but as you can see from the picture, the path was pretty wet. We started off by jumping from rock to try to keep our feet dry, but eventually the trail just basically ended up underwater. Full disclosure, it was raining when we started, but it is my understanding that several trails have river crossing, so it's very likely your feet will get wet. Even with hiking boots, ours got soaked, and unfortunately we ended up having to turn around at the left fork Red Creek, which had risen too high. The full Blackbird Knob Trail is over 14 miles, but you can choose to shorten it. My advice on the trail would definitely be to bring an extra pair of shoes and socks and leave them in the car in case your trail was swamped like ours. As far as general footwear recommendations go, if you have something sturdy and easy to dry, go with that. The trail is quite rocky and uneven, but we did get some nice views of the natural vegetation and these cute little newts. Another good option if you have less time would be to check out the Bear Rock Preserve to get some great photos of the surroundings. You do have a lot of chances to see wildlife in Dolly Sods, including black bears, so be sure to practice proper bear safety if you plan to hike or camp in the area. Monongahela National Forest is a great place to visit if you're looking to experience the outdoors in West Virginia. You definitely get a really in-nature experience. And there's plenty of trail options that you can make it as easy or as challenging as you want. Weather-wise, we did get some rain, but it was fairly cool for us with temperatures running in 70 degrees or so, that being in summer. If you visited Seneca Rocks, Spruce Knob, or Dolly Sods in the past, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like if you enjoyed, and click subscribe if you want to hear more on our travels to national parks, state parks, and green spaces all over. Until next time, this is All Parks.